All right, welcome everyone. We're here today. We're getting together with the committee again and got a couple new faces here. We got Sean Swift and Eric, and then of course Eric Vogt, and then we have Eric Gomez, who you guys have been introduced to already, Jason and myself. And we thank you for taking the time to watch the video. We're gonna kind of give a quick little intro of Sean and Eric and their experience with FreeWheel and kind of little different things. Because like Eric, I know he's got an interesting story how he met his wife, and I'll let him share more details about that. But so I won't take any more time. Sean, I'll let you go ahead and start out and share your experiences about FreeWheel and what it means to you.
My father and brother started riding FreeWheel long before I did, and I came on, I think, in 2007 to do one day and liked it so much that next year I did 2 days and then did 5 consecutive FreeWheels after that. Ended up, wife and I did FreeWheel, and she was actually pregnant during the ride, 6 months pregnant on a recumbent tricycle, and she completed that ride. For it's the one when we went through the Wichita Wildlife Refuge, and she did Mount Scott 6 months pregnant. And so that year we had 900 riders, and so 11% of the 900 went up Mount Scott, and so there was a little badge for that. So it's just always kind of been in the blood, and I've helped out previously with towns and food and stuff, so that's kind of my shot.
And I tell you, Sean, I appreciate you being on board with this, and super excited having you on the committee as well. So Eric, let's hear a little bit about your story and your experience with FreeWheel.
Some similarity to Sean's with the family component. I remember my FreeWheel story actually starts when I was, I think, 7 years old, and my parents did it back in the 80s. And I was staying with my grandparents, and we went and visited them in Cushing, and there was this giant swimming pool back then there. And I just remember thinking that was the coolest looking thing. Like all these people camping and on their bikes, just riding across the countryside. And so fast forward to the mid 90s, I was in high school, and my dad and I did it together. Then we just did a half of it, and my first couple FreeWheels were just half like that. But then fast forward another handful of years, and I think it was maybe 2009 when I finally did one with Dad. Did my first full FreeWheel, and my mom would drive along, which was kind of a nice deal. And then the next year, 2010, my dad and I did it again, but my mom, this time, she was driving along with my girlfriend, Leisha. And, well, I guess Leisha thought it looked like kind of like fun, and she thought maybe she'd give it a try the next year. And so fast forward one more year, 2011, and Leisha and I have been dating for a while at this point, and I guess I thought, if she'll ride across the state of Oklahoma in June with me, that's, she might be a keeper. So
Absolutely,
I had arranged some things, and some of it was kind of in my. I have to give a lot of credit to my mom and Leisha's mom too. They were both kind of helping out. And this particular year, we went along Okmulgee Lake and the highway that runs right along the coast of that. I kind of told my mom it would be right after we stopped for lunch, and so maybe look for a spot. And my mom had made these posters, on foam core, and placed them along the route. I didn't really know what they were, but we're riding along, and I see them, and we kind of rode past, and Leisha sees it, but kind of doing this thing like, is that us on a poster? And we kept going, and then there was another one, and she's like, that was us. And finally there was one that was kind of like, stop here or whatever. And so we pulled over, and along next to the lake there. It was a hot day. I have no idea what I said, but she said yes, so that
that's the important piece.
And we took a quick swim, because that's what you do on FreeWheel. You stop when it's hot and you take some swims whenever you can. And then it was a long 40 miles the rest of the way, because that was kind of this big buildup. We knew that was it. And yet we still had a hilly ride into Bristow to accomplish. But yeah, and then Leisha and I have done a couple of FreeWheels together since then, and it's the best way to see the state of Oklahoma, no doubt. And yeah, looking forward to kind of getting back involved in it this year and with the reset.
We're super excited to have you on the committee. You do some of the artwork we've got, and man, that's been super helpful. Awesome, good deal. And I know that Chesney Grant, she wasn't able to join the call. We'll have another one with her, but she's got a similar story. So I'm excited for everybody to hear her story as well. It's kind of interesting how 2 people on the committee of 8 met their spouses, or actually 3, over time. Have this connection with spouses, through FreeWheel. It's like, well, you might want to be careful going on FreeWheel. You might end up getting married,
Yeah.
So.
We might market that,
Yeah, we can do that, couldn't we? Exciting stuff. And as you guys got to meet Eric Gomez the other day, he did a good video related to the day 0, and that's an exciting piece. And if you hit on that again, Eric, I think that's an exciting piece of this whole deal, going out there to August Osage County House.
Correct. Thank you, Paul. Yes, the movie August Osage County and the play that was filmed right outside of Pahuska in the house, which is an Osage family. The owners of that house, actually the owner is from California and is a cyclist himself. He lives mostly in California, and said, I would absolutely love to accommodate that. And we have, so we're gonna open that house up. It's a beautiful ride into a very remote part of Oklahoma that almost, we're about 6 miles from the Kansas border at that point. And we are going to put a little loop in there to go up through Kansas Pass if anybody wants to, add on an additional 20-ish miles to,
just going to get their legs warmed up a little bit that day 0. Huh?
Yeah, it's a beautiful, it's a little hilly. It's not a flat part of the world, but it's absolutely beautiful. And so, and it's a really neat house. And and we'll get to tour it. It still looks exactly as it did the day they stopped filming. And so that we were literally going to walk onto a movie set, and that'll be our rest stop. And we've got for that day.
Oh, I think he's cutting out on us. Eric, are you still there? He's driving back from Kansas. We do know that. He's going to rejoin us here. But what we'll do is that we'll also announce to you guys that are watching this video. Eric, think we lost you. You came back in. But what I was going to do is share with everybody that we'll get back with them on that day 0 when that ride will start. And we'll still, I don't know if we have a preliminary idea of that, but we'll get back with them and let them know when we're going to start that ride that day 0.
Outstanding.
A couple other things that we got is that, last time we did the call, I talked about Drumright and Prague, but I didn't talk about the great people there. We are working with Angela Titus, who has been a great help as the chamber president in Drumright. She's helped with a lot of the stuff. Of course, that's where our End of the Trails ride is going to be. We got Joseph's Fine Food, as we mentioned in the first ride. That's super, the first video. That's awesome. And we've been working with Chief Sean Gibson and Shauna Jackson with the city. And then we also have Prague, who kind of came onto the scene a little bit later. We unfortunately had Tecumseh had declined. They were upset that they got canceled. I understand, but we're working through all that. So, and then Seminole said, man, we got construction. Please put us on your calendar in the future. But then Prague said, yeah. And as you look at it, Prague is an ideal town because they've got this 3-block stretch where we're going to have Tent City and everything. It just works out. It's a beautiful town for Oklahoma FreeWheel. Have it on your route. And I've been working with Angie Marsh over there, who's over the chamber, as well as the city manager, Jim McGriff. And there's been another gentleman that's with Faith Bible Church, Mr. Scott Smith, that we've been working with. Last time we posted a video, somebody asked, hey, what about Dennis? I'm like, Dennis? Oh, Dennis, yes, Dennis, yes. I have been in communication with Dennis all this time, and he is going to be there. Yay. And then we've got Jamie Rhodes with the Rhodes Angels. She's going to be there as well. Everybody remembers her. She's awesome. And then I've been in communication with Steve Pollock. That is Hubie's son. And Hubie is tentatively slated to ride Oklahoma FreeWheel 2024. I'm super excited about that. Go Hubie. Can you believe that guy? I think he's 98, I believe.
Yeah.
Man, what an inspiration. I hope I'm riding a bike at 98. I don't know about you guys, but well, I hit on a lot of things. I miss anything, guys? Anything else we need to talk about?
Get registered. The date, talk about the fee structure, Paul.
Yes, absolutely. So for April 17th at midnight is the cutoff on the price. So it's $250 if you get it done by April 17th. We're making some plans to go visit at Tom's Bicycles this Tuesday afternoon. And so the more information to come, it'll be the later afternoon, but we will put a comment on Facebook about that. And actually, the jersey sales, that deadline for the jersey sales so that we can get them all done and get them, have them there at the time of the event is also April 17th. And I'll throw in some more pieces about, every one of these little towns have small museums or what have you. It's really neat. Jason, you're a history buff and taught history in the past. And, some of the things like I think about Drumright, they have this Drumright Historical Museum. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, it's great. And so many wealthy, like big name oil people came through Drumright during the days of the oil boom. It'd be like you look up and there'd be a Rockefeller in your living room. They built a school out there that looks like it belongs in the East, as out of place as can be. But now it's a winery. It's kind of cool to see that. And Babe Ruth played baseball right there in Drumright.
Exactly. I didn't
Not
even know.
recently, but
Exactly. You and I went and visited them, and that's what they stated. We went and drove by the school and see this big old picture of Babe Ruth right there on the baseball field. That was pretty cool. And then you mentioned the winery. Tidewater Winery is going to be at Whitlock Park, which is where we're staying while we're in Drumright. They're also going to have what's called 918 Munchies. It's got a snow cone truck as well. Loco Lemon is a local type vending service that they'll be there. They're going to hold those oil well camp tours. And as they do it, they're going to come back by and go by the Drumright Historic Museum. They're going to have some shuttles. They're working all that right now. And then, of course, that last night, like I mentioned with the food, at the same time, they've got a local band there called New Dynasty. They're going to be entertaining. So that's exciting as well. But I appreciate everybody joining us. I tell you what, we got a great committee, lots of value here, lots of people that care about this ride and are looking for the next 45 years. It's been a great 45 years. We're looking for another great 45 years in the future. So all of that said, gentlemen, I appreciate your time. And everybody register for Oklahoma FreeWheel 2024. Let's get going.
boom.
Thank you all. Talk soon.
Everyone.